Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the live show, as are always known as Tales from the Tour. And I'm here with the lovely Jeff. Hi, Jeff. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm in Montana today. It's a very sunny day. It's very beautiful. I've been through a lot this week, though. It's been an adventure.
Yeah, because you're on a big journey. You're going home, aren't you? So you're on a big east-west journey, and you've been driving through snow and all sorts of horrible stuff.
I am headed home. I am. And right now, today, the Midwest around Omaha and Des Moines is getting wiped off the map.
And that's where you started off from, almost, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's really bad there. But
So, any news from over your way? What's news?
I'm just going home. I'm gonna work on my RV and get ready for retirement.
That's looming now, isn't it? Towards the end of this year, that's going to be amazing. The only downside is it means Jeff's going to be stuck right over on the west coast, which means he's Pacific time, which means he's going to be 8 hours out.
8 hours.
We'll get used to it. We'll work something out. Well, I guess everybody, what's been going on in Glastonbury over the last few days. We lost the wonderful guy that was Merlin, our resident mage. I don't know what to say, really. I've kind of become involved in organising a memorial for him and raising some money for him, and we're going to talk about all this later, because I don't want the whole show to be about someone we love dying. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some other things first, and then we'll have a look at the Merlin story, and I'll bring you up to date on where we are with that and what's happening. So Jeff, anything in the comments yet, or is it a little bit too early?
We have Sweet the Cat with us tonight, and we have, of course, Station Master with us. We'd be lost without the Station Master. Greetings. Got a good seat again. We have Ed Hesseltine with us tonight, evening all, and Roland. Roland is with us. You need to talk to Roland. You have stuff going on with Roland.
Yeah, we need to talk, Roland, you and I. I'll be in touch after the show.
We have Andrew Graham with us tonight, and Station Master chimed in and said, yes, sad loss, our Merlin.
Yes, definitely. We will be talking about that later. But first, we've got other things we can talk about. Like, for example, everybody knows who John Minchell is, don't they? Do they? I think they do. Yes. Let's assume they do. And John Minchell's been at it again. And I have to look over here because I'm doing this slightly differently this week. So I'll be back with you in a minute. I need to do this. Here we go. So yes, so John has been painting again recently, and this is an interesting painting because he's done it on boards, because it was a grade listed building. So they've been done on boards which can be attached to the wall without coming into conflict with the people who preserve houses. So I'm showing you this not only because it's a recent painting, but it bears relevance to what we're going to be talking about later when we get around to Merlin and where we're going to be putting his. So I'll let you watch this first and see what you think. Take my life in my hands once again, standing in the road. You can clearly see the John Minchell work behind me on the end of what was the pump house. So this is a very short video today. I just wanted to bring you down here and show you the fact that John's been at it again, beautifying the town for us. Look at that, isn't that amazing? You can almost walk in. Don't, because if you do, you probably break your nose. It's a hard wall, but it looks like you can. And it's on the end of the old pump house, which has associations with bringing water into the town, going back along into the past. But what a beautiful, beautiful view that is for us. And you can see the old chapel next door as well. And of course, down that way is Glastonbury Town Centre itself, further on down there. Well, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome John back on the channel. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Gabriel. Good, thanks.
As you can see from the film here, John's been painting again, and this time it's right in the middle of town at the old, what was it? It was a
Pump
spa.
House.
Pump House.
Yeah, it's called the Pump House. It used to be Glastonbury Spa back in the 19th century, I think.
We were rivaling Bath at one point.
Well, that was the idea, yeah.
It didn't work out, though.
It didn't work out in the end, no. They originally, there was a lady called Anne Galloway, who was a spa owner in Bath, and she was trying to branch out, come down to Glastonbury, because there had been a historical story of a guy that had come here and been killed by the waters that flowed down from the White and the Red Springs combined through the Abbey grounds and under the ground there, under the road there. That's exactly where the pump house was. So that was the initial start of it, and it got quite popular at a time, and there were places where people could live and that kind of stuff. But in the end, I think the trend started to wane, and people were, not believing in the miracles or whatever. So it had its time.
So I met the lovely lady who commissioned me to do this today. We were at a talk that John was giving earlier on. And so you were commissioned to do this. So there's obviously a lot of research. You go away and read books and trawl the internet. Don't you?
I mean, it's today with modern Google searches, it's much easier than it used to be. Because it used to be trips to the library and also looking through my books and stuff. But now it's good because you can just pretty much specify what you want and get a range of images. So I do the research first to make sure it's authentic.
So what was the thinking behind the theme there? Because it looks like you can walk in there, can't you?
Well, the idea is that Anne Galloway, who built it, loved the Roman baths at Bath. And to create a view through into Roman baths and gardens seemed to be something which would have appealed to her back in the 18th century when she built it. So that was the idea. So I decided to go full Roman rather than anything else. So there's a little landscape of kind of Tuscany as well.
On the perspective you've got bang on, it really does look like you could walk into that doorway. Well, like I say, ladies and gentlemen, it's at the bottom of town. Walk past the town hall, keep going, look on your right, on the opposite side to the Abbey as you're walking down, and there it will be. You can't miss it. It's a stunning piece of artwork, and yet another piece of the town improved by John, who's just one of the many artists we have improving our town wall by wall. Well, thank you for talking to us, John. Thank you for another amazing wall.
You're welcome.
And I look forward to talking to you on the next one. Maybe if it's a live paint, we'll come and see you again.
Yeah, cool.
That'll be good.
Nice one.
Thanks. So there you are. Hang on, where have I gone?
You fell off. I kind of feel gone. Hello, everybody. I guess it's me today. I guess I have the show live. I can't imagine what happened to Gabriel. I think he'll probably be with us in a minute.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Are you back now?
I'm back now. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, tonight is a little bit of a tryout because what I'm doing tonight, rather than using my home computer to run the show, I'm doing it on the laptop here. And the idea of that is so that if a week when we're due to do a show, I'm not here, I could have the laptop with me and providing I've got internet, do it from wherever I am. And it's a little bit difficult and as much as I can't see because I got the others. I'm not going to go into technical detail, but that is a thing that won't happen again. I understand what I need to do. So anyway, sorry about that. Sorry, Jeff, you was looking terrified like a rabbit in the headlights there for a moment. What's going on in the comments, buddy?
We have Diana with us tonight. That's very nice to see her with us. Andrew Norris just popped in.
Hey, Andrew.
Evening, Jeff and Gabe.
How you doing? You good?
He's approaching the time of year where he goes back out to the ranch.
Absolutely, yeah. I've lost my little book. We got a few things to talk about tonight, and one of them is something that started up recently here. Now, I don't know about where you live. Where I used to be in Devon, they had it. But when you go to a tip, when you're emptying out your house or having a clear out, you go to a tip. Electrical goods. What happens to them when you get there? I ask this because we are in an economy that isn't circular. So electronics are produced and sold with inbuilt, what's the word I'm looking for?
Planned obsolescence.
Thank you. Absolutely. Inbuilt obsolescence. Now, the worst case of this is printers. Printers are the worst because you cannot do anything with them. We have a charity here that allows you to take things in and have them repaired. And the one thing that they always fail on is printers, because they are literally designed to not last very long, which is rather sad. But anyway, we have a new charity has just been set up in Glastonbury, and they are tasked with trying to stop stuff going to landfill. They're working with local businesses and the local county council, and Biffa, who run the waste projects around here, are about to allow them to go in and take these things back out. As you'll hear in the video, a high percentage of the stuff that's thrown away is still in its boxes. I mean, I can't understand that. So they had an opening on Saturday, and I was invited down. I want to know what you think. I mean, can you, where you live, recycle electrical goods, or do they just get thrown in a bin down at the tip and then mashed up with all the other stuff? When I lived in Devon, they had a little building. We had one in Newton Abbot, and all the electrical stuff was in there, and you used to wander in, and I found all sorts of like perfectly good electric drills that worked, you know. So we went down and we did a little film, and I want to show you what we did because it was opening day, and I went down there to see what the lady that runs it has to say. Now at last. We had to wait till the end till everybody went home because this lady has been in demand all day. It's the lovely Laura Sorensen, the driving force behind the reuse store that we've come to today. How are you?
Quite happy, thanks, and glad to sit down.
I bet. Laura's got a broken ankle, and even with a broken ankle and hobbling around, she's managed to stay off the ground. Now, I understand today was the opening. Tomorrow is you actually open to the public now, aren't you? Is that what I was told?
Yes, well, the public were welcome to come today, and they did, and they didn't come empty-handed, so that was lovely. But tomorrow, yes, we have got 3 volunteers who are going to sit in the shop and accept people to come and have a look around. They can make donations if they want to. I think we've got somebody who's going to repair and pat test things as well. But really, we are looking for people to come and buy stuff because we want to have a turnover. This is not a storage shop.
No. So not only do we need you to bring things, we need you to come and buy things. And as the more people bring things, the more things there are, the more people buy things, it will spiral upwards. Now, eventually, you'd like to see this in the actual recycling centres themselves, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Although somebody who came today said they thought this was a nicer model. I need to think about that. But most of the reuse shops are near recycling centres because that's where people go to dump stuff that they don't want, and they haven't got the time or the wherewithal to put them on Marketplace or FreeCycle or eBay. So they get dumped. But unfortunately, a lot of electrical stuff does get dumped. I mean, I think it was 50% of the things in the electrical skip are reusable or repairable, and 10% are still in their packaging. It's never been used, and that was out of a survey that Suez did of the UK, and we are the worst in Europe for wasting electricals and electronic things. So we've got to put a stop to this.
I can take you to a shop now in Bruges that does just this thing, and it's a great big shop on 3 levels.
Oh.
It's totally different over there. Is there any electrical things that you don't want? Let's
Yeah, we're not going to take white goods. We're not going to take microwaves or TVs. Printers are a bit of a problem because often printers can't be repaired. We know this from Repair Cafe. I think there's a real built-in obsolescence with printers, which is outrageous.
Especially when the jets block.
Yeah, whatever it is, they're maddening. But we will take small electricals and other things which are worthy of people using in their homes. Yeah.
Excellent. So when you say you got pat testers here, can people bring stuff in and have it tested?
No, we do that at Repair Cafe, which is separate from Reuse Shop. So Repair Cafe in Glastonbury is in St Benedict's Church every 3rd Saturday in the month from 10 till 12. And we repair with people, sort of showing people how to repair. And we will do pat testing there of items for a small fee as well.
That's brilliant. And kind of the two are linked, are they?
Yeah, they're definitely linked. It's all to do with reducing waste and supporting the circular economy, saving people money and reducing emissions, which we kind of need to do.
And the difficulty, I guess, is with a lot of modern equipment has, as you mentioned before, built-in obsolescence.
Yes,
what can we do to aid in the recycling of equipment with built-in obsolescence that makes it less impactful on the community? Is there anything we can do as members of the public, anything this organisation can do?
Well, the best thing that consumers can do, and we're all viewed as consumers,
We are.
over humans these days, is to buy the best you can afford, something that lasts a long time and is well made. And there is a push towards making manufacturers make things available to be dismantled without these funny little screws, like a screw with a dinosaur head, which you haven't got a screwdriver for, and to make the spares available and the manuals available. Now, Europe is far in advance of us, and especially France on this. I think they've started with the white goods, but there is a big lobbying situation to request manufacturers to make things that are repairable and make things like they used to be, good quality. We used to have that in this country.
We did.
British made things were renowned for being really good quality. We can go back to that. Things need to last a long time and be cared for.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time for talking and inviting me down this morning. I'll keep an eye on what goes on here because this is quite fluid at the moment, isn't it? Because you're dependent on volunteers. So
We are.
How will where will people go to find out what your opening hours are?
Okay, well, at the moment they're going to be Fridays and Sundays between 10 and 12. I'll put it everywhere I can. That is in paper form, on social media, Glastonbury notice board, the various publications which come out like Reach magazine. I will, the Red Brick Building website might help us, and I'm hoping Somerset Council and Suez, who pick up the curbside recycling, and Biffa, who operate the tips, I hope they will all help support not just this reuse shop, but the whole concept.
Yes.
More than words, we want really
Action.
strong action now. It's so needed. So yeah, that would be great.
That's the next step then. Let's get these big guys on board and putting their money where their mouth is. Thank you very much.
Thanks
and
again.
we will see you again soon.
Lovely.
Bye-bye. Well, there you are. that's the story of that. But before we go any further, this. Never too late for a reminder, is it? Now, we do have a pill, but I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, you can't see it, but I've been doing some work in the studio here, which involves me getting rid of a load of stuff that I don't need or use, and that's all gone on the desk over there, and somewhere under it is the pill, so I can't find it. Sorry.
Well, we're a little bit early, but
it'll be there next time. Guarantee
Yeah.
it will be there next time. So there, as you can see, it's desperately needed, and I'm surprised something like that gets overlooked. And it does get overlooked. I mean, people just take it for granted. Jeff, anything going on in the comments over there?
We have Andrew Murphy and Tracy Murphy with us. Saying hello, everyone. Andrew Norris says in Croatia, we have a place to take old electrical goods for stripping and recycling.
That's what we need. See, that's what we need. Either they're resold or they're taken apart and properly recycled.
We should think about having Andrew Murphy on the show. He would be interesting to have on from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. More than welcome. As is anybody.
Andrew says in Hampshire, e-waste is separated at the waste sites and sent for recycling, though the problem is most electrical products manufactured these days are doomed to failure, unfortunately. Yes, they are.
They are. They do seem to be. I mean, I have an iPhone. It's the 16 Pro Max. I've had it. How long had I had it, Jeff? A couple of weeks?
Not very long.
Not very long. And it's had a complete, what they call it a central something or other system. Basically, I've got the screen I got originally. I got the back panel and I got the lens unit. Everything else has been taken out and removed and replaced 2 weeks after. Now, in all fairness, I don't think it was Apple's fault. I think Apple have been really good, but I don't know. Actually, this is a good conversational topic, actually. I have had an ongoing issue with rubbish phone signal forever. I've tried so many networks and they all say, oh, you've got good indoor and outdoor coverage there. But Jeff will tell you, whenever I walk into Glastonbury High Street and I lose signal, and I've got 2 SIMs on my phone. I've got an eSIM and a physical SIM, 2 different networks, 02 and 3, although they're ID and Tesco. I spend half my time on the Tesco mobile on 3G, which is going to be turned off soon. So God knows what's going to happen then. The only thing keeping me with them is that when I go abroad, like to Ireland or Europe, the signal is perfect. I don't drop calls. I was in Ireland, miles from anywhere, in the middle of the bogs, and I had 5G.
There's a randomness to where you lose your signal to. I can tell you in all of my travels, I can tell you where I'll lose signal.
Yeah, I can't, because like, for example, when I come back from Ireland, I watch as I get off the ferry and I turn my phone back on. There it is, 2 bars, 3G, and that's it. I will not see 5G again till I go abroad, and then I go back abroad. 5 bars, 5G as I get off the ferry in France. It's just insane. It seems to be the networks. So I don't even know how I got onto this rant, but yeah. So who else has signal issues? Is it just me? Because as I say, Apple stripped out everything because that's how they replaced the modems. So they said, well, could be, but we will fix it. But then that's it. There's nothing else we can do. You've got a new phone, effectively, and so therefore it is down to the providers. And I think Apple have been very good in doing that. But the providers, Tesco, woohoo, no. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, you're having problems. I will forward this to the relevant department. How can you fix a technical issue with an iPhone or any phone via email? Because they don't even get back to you. It's just poof. It's ridiculous. I don't know how they're allowed to get away with it. Anyway, that's my rant over.
Andrew says, looking forward to being back in my village, but I am coming to England on Friday to celebrate my dear mom's 90th birthday. Well, I hope there'll be a video.
Yeah, absolutely. 90 years old. Wow. Goodness gracious me. That lady's seen some things, hasn't she? Good gracious.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
Let's see. What else have we got? Station Master says, thanks, Gabe, but you're 10 minutes early. I have it ready, though.
I thought it was 8:30 you did it. Is it 20 to 9?
You actually sent it at 7:20.
Did I?
Yeah.
What time do you make it now?
7:26 your time.
Oh, I'm 10 minutes fast on this. What?
Or 8:26, I'm sorry, your time.
I don't know if you can see that, but you can't see that.
How can that watch be fast? It's a certified chronometer.
I know. But it is. Goodness gracious. I'm sorry, Bernie. I was going by my watch, which I don't know if you can see there, is telling me, oh, it's upside down. This is not easy. Hang on. It's telling me the wrong time. Look.
Were you mean to it?
No. No, not at all. Don't understand that. I shall look into that later on, but I won't use it for now.
Andrew says we now have 5G in Croatia, but signal is crap. Witnessing my covering Bernie's live here is great. Wait a second. Witness my covering Bernie's live a few weeks ago. Station Master says, no problem, Gabe. Better to be early. Appreciate the thought.
Yeah, because this one is also telling me this is Jeff's new watch, by the way. It's a Mondaine. It's a Swiss Railways watch, and this is telling me it's 20. It's now 23 minutes past. So hopefully that's right as well. Oh no, it stopped. It stopped. It's not been worn all day. It stopped, but it does keep accurate time. You see the worried look on Jeff's face there. Honestly, Jeff, it does keep good time.
I haven't even got it yet.
It's because I took the strap off, because Jeff has got a wrist you need a waist belt for, and I put it in. Look at that. That's a tree trunk, and I put it in this little box ready to send.
You guys would be so tiny around me. You guys would be like little people. Because, I say all the time, I say, well, so-and-so. Well, Station Master is smaller than me, and I'm 6'2", and 24 stone?
Yeah, you're a big boy. Big boy. You don't get many of you to the pound, do we, Jeff? Any other news, Jeff, that you want to come up with?
Well, I would concur with what that lady said about the quality of British goods. I would concur wholeheartedly, with the exception of anything that has Lucas printed on it.
Really?
Yes, I've worked on Lucas starters before. I've tried to diagnose problems with Lucas distributors before.
They're not good.
Well, that's why he was called the Prince of Darkness, and his last dying words were, "Don't drive at night."
Who was that?
Joseph Lucas. Last dying words, "Don't drive at night."
Good gracious me. Talk about boosting your economy. Blimey. Good gracious. Well, I guess the elephant in the room, we need to talk about Merlin. Some of you will know who Merlin is, and some of you won't. I'm going to run a little video in a minute, which will introduce you to him. For those that didn't know Merlin, he was from the Midlands, and he had the most beautiful personality. He oozed peace and calm. He operated with people across the social spectrum. He gave people hope. He basically was just Merlin. He was there by the gates of the abbey whenever you came into town, and as you walked past, he'd go in his Midland accent, which I can't do. Hey, brother, and he'd give you the peace sign and have a chat and see how the world was going, or it'd be hey, sister, if it was a girl. And then he'd be giving people room readings, having his photograph taken for 50p, which he gave to the fridge, his beloved fridge that he stood next to. More about that later. And so he was very loved by very many people in Glastonbury. And since his death, the outpouring of condolences and love for the guy has been pretty overwhelming, to be honest with you. I kind of somehow ended up, because I knew Merlin quite well, we'd taken him away and done some films with him, and we were associated with Merlin. Somehow I got involved in basically organising a memorial for him. I was contacted by the family and told that he didn't like funerals and didn't want a funeral. So that was out of the window. So I was kind of letting people know, because I was getting asked a lot what was happening. So I started a Facebook group called A Memorial for Merlin, primarily for people to go somewhere and to talk about Merlin, what he meant to them, what they wanted to do, because Merlin's own Facebook page, you couldn't post on it. Someone is in there now because they are putting videos through. So it will say waiting for a moderator or something, and a little while later it will go through. So someone is in there doing it. Now, I suspect that's probably his family, who I have been in touch with. As I said, they're lovely people, as a mother and a daughter. That's where that went. And then from there, we ended up talking about him having a picture somewhere. From there, I was contacted by a lady in the market square of Glastonbury, right in the centre, at the bottom of the high street, where it turns and goes up the hill, where the big memorial thing is. Next door to Steve the Butcher's, over the hemp shop, is a lovely white-fronted, jetted medieval building, which the lady bought last year. And she is giving us permission to attach to the front of her house. Now, this is why I played the John video earlier on, because with a building being grade 2 listed, you cannot go and slap a painting on the front. All hell would break loose. But as has been demonstrated by John successfully several times, you can paint panels and then attach the panels to the wall, because you're not painting the wall. It can be taken away and it was never there. So we are going to paint on a panel. That has another advantage, because it's on a first floor. We would have to have scaffolding or scaffolding towers there, and that would be for the length of time it took to paint it. This way, it could be painted, and then scaffolding or a tower or some ladders can be arranged on the day, and a group of people can go along, get that on the wall, mount it, job's done. So that's worked out quite nicely. We've engaged a painter, a guy called Tommy. He's a tattoo artist working in the town, and he's a superb wall artist. He did what is my favourite wall art in town, actually. It's a Viking warrior with a ship in the background up by the Rural Life Museum. And it's fantastic. Dan, who you saw later, described Tommy as he's got faces down, which he has. So we're going to get a really good image of Merlin up on that wall. The other thing that we did was to start a GoFundMe, which at the last look had raised around £1,500. I'm going to turn it off tomorrow because I think we've got enough now. That's to pay. Tommy is going to paint for free. He's not charging us anything, but obviously it's going to cost money in paint. It's going to have to be a life-size piece of marine ply because it's going to go out on an external wall. So it has to be marine ply. That's not cheap. So we've raised money to pay for that. And then we have some other ideas. But I think before I go on to anything else, Jeff, have you got anything in the comments? And then I'm going to run a little film introducing Merlin.
Sweet the Cat says, right now, right, I can't stand it. Why the hell does the people who run their fridge refuse to have anything to do with Merlin on it? How ridiculous can you get?
We're coming to that.
Andrew Norris says, I have to say I'm appalled by the people who are responsible for the fridge who won't allow a picture of him to be displayed on one of the doors.
Yeah, we will be covering that.
You know, you walk a fine line when you are a charity. We have no idea where they get the food that they give away in there or their corporate sponsors. We have no idea how they operate. I don't know.
Well, as we're talking about it, okay, I was going to leave it till a bit later, but we'll talk about it now. There was a plan, an idea to put a picture of Merlin, life-size, inside the door that opens. So you wouldn't be able to see it when it's closed. You'd only be visible when it was open. And that would also make it look like he was standing in his old spot, because that's where he used to stand. And everybody thought that was a brilliant idea. So I put it to the charity and they said they'd get back to me. Well, I was approached in a coffee shop by one of the trustees who told me in no uncertain terms that there is no way they will ever allow anything relating to Merlin to be put in the fridge. They may put a little Facebook link inside at some point. And she said to me, and this is exactly what she said, almost verbatim. And anyway, the charity was set up by Gina, who died. If anybody was going to have a picture down there, it would be her. And my response to that was, well, hang on a minute. She's been gone quite a long time. You've had all that time to do something about it, and you haven't. We, the community, have raised this money and this will to do this in 24 hours. Now, you tell me, where's the joy in that? They call themselves the community fridge, and yet they don't want to hear or listen to or engage with the community at all. Now, I'm kind of in a difficult position because I don't want to have to attack these people, because I'm here to facilitate people getting a memorial done to Merlin. I'm not here to say the right and wrongs of that. However, I will say on here tonight, I think it's obscene that they are doing this. A very nice lady has contacted me today, and she's actually forwarded me information so that we now know who the trustees were. And it was one of the trustees who approached me in the coffee shop. So there are, I think, 7 trustees or 5 trustees. I can't remember the number. Now, whether that's her opinion or whether that's all of the trustees' opinion, because I've had no email back. I've had no communication back officially from this organisation. And the other thing that was available on that paperwork was the finances of the charity. And I didn't see any reference to the fridge on there. Now, there was originally talk about excess money could go to the charity that runs the fridge. I'm not prepared to do that now, not after this, because they run other charities as well, and giving them money, there's no guarantee that we spent on the fridge. Now, I should tell you the fridge is owned by the town council. It's part of the town hall, who contacted me through the offices of Connor, the town clerk, yesterday morning we had permission to do whatever we wanted in there. So the council who own the building are on board. So that's that. But you see, the thing is, they don't pay for that room. They don't pay for the electricity. They were donated the fridges. The food is given by the stores. They don't have to buy it. And the entire operation is run by people like Merlin, who you'll see later, as volunteers. It lists on their site they've got something like 50 or 60 volunteers. So I actually don't know, if you give them money, how it benefits the fridge. So my plan is to do a couple of other things. So, for example, we're going to occasionally put a Merlin bag in there. This was Jeff's idea, which I really like, which will have like a mug with Merlin on it. It'll have maybe something about Merlin, maybe a bit of apples or something, so that you can just, oh, wow. And we'll just be putting those in randomly. But
a memento of Merlin, something to remember Merlin by.
Absolutely. What we will also be doing is using any money left over, and there will be money left over. We'll be using that money. I'll be doing a regular shopping trip and then putting food into the fridge. So it will constantly have a better supply of food than it has now. I'm not going to do it all in one lump, because somebody will just go in and fill their car. We've seen them do it. So I will be buying a weekly shop and then distributing it in there every time I go into town. So we can get the money spent back onto the community despite these people. Now, if anybody wants to email them, I will make the contact details completely available. And, you know, if the town wanted to contact the local paper and complain about this, they're more than welcome. I can't be seen to be attacking them. That's not my role. My role is simply to get the funds raised, engage the painters, get the wall sorted, and that sort of thing, and then spend the money afterwards and provide some accounts.
We have something that we need you to clarify.
Go on.
Sweet the Cat says, also, did you see there is someone else standing in Merlin's place now?
Yes.
Or
yes.
Called Taurus or something.
Yes.
I think it's a bit disrespectful, as he has only just left us.
I thought that as well. And Taurus called me over, because I know him. And he called me over and he says, bro, what we're doing is we're setting up in memory of Merlin, and 10% of our takings we're going to give to the fund. So that's what he told me. I believed him. That's honourable. I'm good with that. The Abbey are going to shift them soon anyway, because that gate is closed because of the works going on behind to reshape the entrance. The Abbey's got a temporary entrance at the moment. I believe that's April that's happening. So they will be gone, because those gates will be open and used. So there won't be room for anybody there. Merlin had to stand to one side when the gates used to be in use. So that's what they've told me. I have to take their word for it. But what's the word I'm looking for? Be aware that it won't go on. It won't go on forever.
My only thing in it is 2 years ago, I contacted the fridge because I wanted to give them some money for Christmas. I thought, Christmas would be the time that, and so the I got in touch. It was hard to get a hold of somebody, but finally the lady called me back and she said, "You're an answer to prayer. I'm working on 20 Christmas baskets for families. I'm about 120 pounds short of what I need to finish the baskets." I said, "Give me a PayPal address. You'll have the money in 5 minutes." And so the following year, which was not last year, but the year before, I tried to contact them again because I wanted to find out if she had enough to do Christmas baskets and all that. I gave up. I couldn't get a hold of anybody.
I think that might have been the lady that died, perhaps the lady that started it, because I think it has changed since she went.
And remember, you even tried to get a hold of them. I told you to try and get a hold of them.
I tried. I really tried. I mean, this time I only found a remote phone number inside the fridge door, and I tried it and got through to somebody. I don't know, and all they could do was take the message and pass it on to the trustees, and then this happened. So
the only other thing that I would also inject is this is from me in America. I talked to Merlin several times on the phone. Many times, usually about once a week, I would talk to him on the phone. And whatever he had that was going on, you could tell there was something going on there near the last.
Yes, definitely.
You could tell that he wasn't as friendly. He wasn't as animated. There was something going on.
I was told by his daughter that he had something. It's astral fibrillation. I can't remember some medical term.
Arterial fibrillation.
Thank you. It was found and what's the word when they tell you what you've got? Diagnosed. It was diagnosed years ago, but Merlin didn't like medicines. He tried to self-medicate herbally, and his daughter is of the opinion, had he taken the medications, he may have been here still. It was a heavy stroke that took him in the end. I was quite surprised because in the last year he'd had 6 seizures, and I thought it was a seizure that would probably have taken him, but it was a very heavy stroke. So that's very sad.
It is very, very sad. Moving on, though, we have a couple other things. You wanted to go back to something that we talked about on one of our very first shows. That was the fish doorbell.
I do, but before I do that, we got, what's the time? 2047. We've got time for. I might cut it short, but we do have time for one Merlin video, and I'm going to put that up now. So here we go. So there you go. We've done it. We have actually secured Merlin for an interview. Now, Merlin, as you probably know, if you've been to Glastonbury, is always really busy standing outside the gate, talking to people. He's hundreds of acolytes who turn up on a daily basis. Merlin, how are you today, sir?
I'm having a wonderful day, man. Every day to me is a wonderful day. I mean, I don't know how I do that, but... And I forgot to put my teeth in this morning as well, like a bloody idiot.
That's all right. Post-production, it won't matter. So, tell me, we've come to the Abbey because I already know this, but can you explain to the people, the Abbey has kind of a role to play in the Merlin evolution?
Well, in a way, yeah. I mean, I came here last year for the medieval fair, and at one point, I had to clean the fridge, because I cleaned the fridge on a Sunday, and it was Sunday that I came, because somebody bought me a ticket, because I couldn't afford to come here. Somebody bought me a ticket and gave me a ticket, so I could actually come. And And so I was cleaning the fridge out, cleaning the fridge on a Sunday, and Gina, who runs the fridge, she came past and said, "Oh, it's Merlin cleaning the fridge," you see. And so she took a photograph of me cleaning the fridge. And that was the first start of everything. And then later on that day, King Arthur came up to me, who was at his knights there on horseback, doing jousting and sword fighting and really putting on a show for the people. He came up to me and he said, "Thank you, Merlin." He said, "You made our day today by dressing up as a wizard, like you see." And I said, "You made mine as well." He took me back 1,000 years or more, when men were men and chivalry was everywhere. You ain't got to look for it. You got to look for it today, haven't you?
So let me just unpack that a minute. You were cleaning the fridge because it was Sunday. So
Yeah.
Sunday.
Every Sunday I
I'm
clean
gonna
the fridge.
I got that bit. Somebody took a photograph of you and
Yeah.
said it's medieval day. Next, you're here dressed as a wizard. So you just happen to have a wizard costume laying around.
I had a wizard costume in Spain, and I bought it when I was in Spain to entertain the kids. Because the kids thought it was wild, you see. The only Englishman in the village,
Yeah.
the only hippie in the village, and the only guy who'll dress up as a bloody wizard in the village, Gina,
Yeah.
put it on Facebook. My
Okay.
picture, cleaning the fridge.
Yeah.
And she had 3,500 hits in less than a week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a clean fridge.
And she said, "That is fantastic." So I decided then to walk up the high street, dressed in my wizard's outfit.
Yeah.
And some people said, "Oh, can I have your photo? Can I have your photo?" And I said, "I'll give me a photo for just a donation, just a little donation, £1 will do, and or shillings, whatever." And so I'm walking up there, and then I thought, I ought to do readings to people, and so I started doing the runes, and people were saying, "That's the best reading I've ever had," and I've had this on the bloody streets. Because I actually get them to ask their spiritual guides to choose the runes for them. So they're not going to choose them themselves.
No.
The spiritual guides are going to choose the runes for them.
I've walked across here with Merlin this morning and people be going, "Hello, Merlin." And it's like walking around town with a superstar. You go out with Merlin, you know what you're going to get seen. You have many, many followers. You have people coming to town just because you're here to see you, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I had 2 women last year, and they'd come from Newcastle on Tyne, which is like, I don't know, 300 or 400 miles away, way up north. And they said, everybody in the village, everybody in our village is talking about you in the pub.
You
So
should
we had
go
to-
on tour,
we had to
Merlin.
go, we had to go and find out.
Yeah.
Because I said, "Oh, so you come and see Glastonbury?" "Well, yes and no." I said, "What do you mean yes and no?" "So actually you come to find the wizard Merlin more than anything."
So there you go. I have stopped that because that's a bit of a longer thing because we talked more than I thought we might. So yeah, so that's Merlin. I will keep you up to date. The group, a memorial for Merlin, has a chat section in it, and in there, Tommy the artist is talking to people about what they want. So if you've got any ideas that you think, "Oh, that'd be an idea," do go in, get involved, and maybe something that you suggest could end up in the picture. I mean, it's going to be right in the middle of town. You won't be able to miss this when it goes up. I think we've done really well to get it, actually.
There he
So,
is,
yeah.
popped in. He says, always made a point of going to chat with Merlin.
Yes, people did. People did. I mean, I've met people who've come here. What Merlin says about them coming down from the northeast, he mentions in the fridge video, which we didn't get around to seeing, he mentions somebody come from Canada because they'd heard about him and they wanted to come and meet the guy. I have actually personally spoken to people who've come from Europe to see him. So he drew people into the town. People come to see him. He had a presence of his own, if you like, and that was remarkable. And people
Sweet the cat says it best. The thing is, Glastonbury won't be the same without him because he was always so full of life and happiness. I've never met anyone like him ever. Every time I visit, I always looked out for him.
Yeah, which is why it would have been nice to have him inside the fridge door, at least as you walk past out the corner of your eye. Anyway, that's another case. Hopefully we can get that decision changed. I would like to invite anybody who wants to contact the fridge people. They're called Love Glastonbury. Yeah, right. They're called Love Glastonbury, the charity, and you can look them up. And if you want, contact me directly. I'll give you their details, and you can go ahead and contact them.
We're missing some people tonight.
Who are we missing, Jeff?
Emma and the Wandering Ponderer, and Allison O'Brien, and there's several. There were people we're missing.
Maybe they're off doing other things, or there's just something good on the telly tonight. Perhaps, I don't know. I don't have a telly.
Emma's been not feeling well lately. I'm concerned.
I'll contact her and see if she's okay. Now, we wanted to finish off on a good news theme, and what can be better news than animals getting a better looking? Listen on. We've got a couple of things, one of which we did, I think Jeff says it was way back on show number 2, a year ago, over a year ago, we looked at this. I need this because this is my thing, and I'm going to be looking at some pictures, and I'm going to put the first one on the screen now. It's going to be here. Okay, so this is a lock gate. And why are we looking at a lock gate? Well, as soon as I put my glasses on so I can read this card, this is how you can help fish. Okay. Utrecht is in the Netherlands, and it has a system of canals and locks throughout the city. Now, these canals and locks attract fish who are moving around. 4 years ago, 2 ecologists, Anne Nige and Mac van Haukenbaum, were standing by a lock when they noticed lots of fish in the lock. Lots of big perches, in fact, waiting for the gates to open. In the early spring, as the water warms, they swim through the centre of Utrecht looking for places to spawn. But at this time of year, there are very few boats, so the locks don't open very often, which is not good for the fish. So what did they do? Mark came up with the idea of a live stream from the locks. So you actually have a camera underwater showing the fish. Now, what they then did, which is very clever, is they came up with an electronic doorbell, and they made the live stream from this camera public. So what happens now is they encourage people to have the live stream on in the background somewhere, and if they notice a lot of fish, to press the doorbell, and this alerts the people in Utrecht, and once enough fish are there, they will open the locks and let them go. Another advantage of this, of course, is with a camera down there, they're able to see the type, the size, the gender, the direction of swimming of all the fish, which wasn't possible before. Now, the reason we're putting this on now is the season begins in March and runs through beyond April. So this camera is going to get really busy with fish soon. We're going to put the link in the comments over there on the right, and you're invited to go along and look on the site, because maybe, just maybe, there may be loads of fish and you can get the door open for them and they can go off and do what fish need to do when they do that sort of thing. So let's go back now So that's that story. I hope it's kind of interesting to people, because I think it's ace that you can, by sitting in your lounge and just hooking up your computer, you can help these fish move to where they need to spawn. Now, Jeff has another story that's linked to this. Over to you, Jeff.
Well, we here in America, they're removing a lot of the dams on our rivers, the old dams that are near the end of their life. They're removing them. Like, this is a picture of the Yuba River in Northern California. It's a very beautiful river. Now they're discovering, this last week, they discovered small salmon in the Yuba River. It has not had a salmon run in over 100 years. So the salmon are returning.
Which
And
is
it's,
brilliant news.
yes, it's really an amazing story that by removing these dams, that these rivers are becoming healthy again.
And they've done one dam, haven't they? And I think you told me they're about to do another one.
They're tearing out all kinds of dams on the Yuba River, on there's like 10 rivers that they're removing that all the dams from. They removed one right near where I live on the Elwha River not too long ago, and it was a big dam. I mean, it was a huge dam, and they removed it.
So what were these dams there? Were they hydroelectric? Were they water supply? I mean, what the function they once provided has to have been replaced by something, I guess.
The major dams on the Columbia River, like the Bonneville Dam and the Chief Joseph Dam, Ice Harbor, the Dalles, McNary, those dams replaced the power that these little dams generated. And so they just became obsolete. I mean, the one on the Elwha River, they still generated power. They really didn't need it, so they removed it.
Mm. Oh, it's good, because I mean, steelhead up in places where there's not been steelhead for hundreds of years. I mean, it's got to be good, isn't it?
Yes, it's truly amazing. And yeah, other thing too is stuff is so much more energy efficient now. When I was a kid, we had a 27-inch console TV that used 800 or 900 watts, 1,000 watts, and now a 50-inch TV uses less than 100.
Yeah, it's less than a bulb, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and computers, look how much less energy computers use now.
But then conversely, we now have electric cars, which I guess if we go mainstream electric, which I don't think we will, but if ever we did, that's going to put a huge drain on that electric supply, isn't it?
I'm not a real big believer in electric cars at this point. I'm not, because we still are generating a lot of our power with natural gas and coal and all that. So all you're doing is you're just shifting it to something else. Now, as we bring renewables on, when we get more renewables, then I will be a big believer in electric cars. We're not putting more renewables on right now because of our current government. We're removing renewables. That video I did a year and a half ago about the photoelectric plant on the California-Nevada border, that was closed last week. They shut it down.
Very, very short-sighted. Very short-sighted. I mean, the key to renewables is storage, because renewables, by their very nature, are not on 100% of the time. It's not always windy. It's not always sunny. About the only renewable, I suppose, that is constant is a dam, because the river will always flow. So what they're doing is they're now looking at putting small battery. They're like the size of a big American freezer in your garage, which has got old car batteries in it, funnily enough, and that stores your renewables, and it can recharge your car so you can have like solar power stored in there that is then going to charge your car at night. So, I mean, it's doable. The technology is there. We've just got to have the foresight to work with it. But anyway, that's another story for another day. It's 9:05, Jeff. You've had a very long day and you've got another long drive tomorrow, haven't you?
I do. I am still 600 miles from home or my delivery, and then go on home. So I'm going to have to drive some more tonight.
So do you want to have a last look through the comments and before we say goodbye to everybody?
Barry West says, beautiful pictures, Jeff. Sweet the Cat says, love your hoodie. Where did you get it from? Yeah, I noticed that you got rid of the purple pullover, didn't you?
Purple pullover wasn't warm enough. This, as you can see, if I walk away from the camera, is huge. It's like a blanket that you could get in this, Jeff. Look, it would fit you. But it's just so warm and snuggly. I just put it on at night. I've got my heated chair here and my snuggly top. I think it might have even been. I bought one from my daughter Laura at the same time. I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere. I think I was in Torquay at the time, but no, it's so warm. You feel warm instantly. You put it on. Anyway, anything else?
That's about it. We should mention again, Roland, that you want to get in touch with Roland because you want to film that the upside down monorail.
Yes, the Wuppertal. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go and stay in Cologne, I think, because Cologne is quite an amazing looking place, and I've never been there, and it's quite easy to get to, and it's a day trip from Cologne by train. So, yeah, I will be in touch. I'll contact soon and see if we have availability. We can kind of come together and do that. It'd be lovely. It'd be lovely.
We seem to have wound up Andrew Norris tonight. He'll need some warm milk and a walk around the block before he can go to bed.
I don't blame him for getting angry. I'm keeping it under wraps, but I am seething with those people. I am so angry, but I've got to keep it under wraps because I've got to keep a level head on this. I'm the kind of public front of the Merlin Memorial, and it's not going to look good for me to go attacking people. So much as if it was somebody else organising this and I saw that, I'd be jumping straight in.
Speaking of which, there was comments in here earlier asking about something that is the 2,000-pound elephant in the room that we should address head on. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, Ryan was posting every single day that he was going to a certain business and having free coffee. And it was me who came forward and told Gabriel that he should say something to Ryan about it because this was a business and that they were there as a business entity and that it wasn't right to go there every day and expect free coffee. Gabriel said something to him and he was very angry about it. And that is the 2,000-pound elephant in the room. He became very angry. And so that's probably why Ryan's not here.
Yes, sadly true. But what can you do? What can you do? I mean, I asked him to do something and anyway, that's that. Moving on from that, I'm sure that at some point I'll bump into him and we'll have a chat and work it all out. But I haven't seen him around to have a chat and work it all out yet. But when I do, who knows? Anything else there, Jeff, before we say good night and goodbye?
I think that's about it. I hope that Emma's all right. And we missed the Wandering Ponderer tonight. He'll have a new video out this Saturday. His last video was quite good. Bernie has a new video out. I haven't seen all of it yet. He has a train video out that was quite good for his model train. And next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel. His show will be here.
Absolutely. And hopefully we'll be covered in chocolate when we see him next time. He mentioned a certain chocolate shop in Bruges that he's very fond of. So a box of chocolates from that shop appeared on his doorstep. Yeah, it's chocolate in Bruges. I had one, and it would look like it almost been painted to look like a banana. And when you bit into it, it was like a banana cream. But oh my word, I've never tasted anything that tasted so realistically of banana. But yeah. Anyway, Jeff.
I was just sent a picture just now of what was going on with the Wandering Ponderer. They are apparently they're receiving a visit from their new grandbaby they just got this year.
Oh, so they're otherwise engaged. Well, no problem. We'll see you next time. Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. There will obviously be more news about Merlin in a fortnight's time. Do feel free to go along and have a look at a memorial for Merlin. It's a Facebook group. You can just go to Facebook and search for it, and up it will come. Do join in. Come and join the conversation. Maybe you've got some ideas about his painting. Maybe you've got some ideas about what's going on with the charity. I know some of our people here tonight are already signed up for it and are already on there. So there'll be faces in there you recognise if you jump over. But that's that. I'm off now. I've got to go to London this week and take a watch up there at some point. And I've got some other bits and pieces to do.
You were also talking earlier on about maybe doing a surprise show next week.
What's that?
Yeah, you mentioned doing like a pop-up show, like to test some new equipment. And
Yes.
When I'm at home and I can give everybody a tour of the RV, and I'll be home.
That's what we're going to do next week while Jeff's home. I've kind of started that process tonight by look, I'm on a computer. I'm on my laptop. So we know this works. All I've got plugged into this is the power supply and an external monitor, and nothing else. So it works as is, as a laptop with its own built-in speakers, its own built-in mics, and its own built-in camera, and it works nicely. So we know I can do that. But what we're going to do next week, while Jeff's at home, is we're just going to pop up out of nowhere, and we're going to just test. I'm going to go somewhere where there's Wi-Fi at night. Makes it difficult, so I'll have to find somewhere where I can go and get Wi-Fi at night, and just see how practical it is to run this off this laptop away from home. I'm pretty certain that it'll be just the same as doing it now, but it will give us the opportunity for Jeff to show you around his RV. And if you've not seen Jeff's RV, you're in for a treat. This thing is the size of a house. Americans do things big. We've had this conversation, Jeff and I. It's certainly true with this RV. It's built on the chassis and the engine and transmission of a Greyhound bus. That gives you an idea of the size. Jeff will certainly be able to swing a cat, and we'll probably, hopefully, one day have a cat. Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah, I kind of get out of breath going from the bedroom to the cockpit. I just...
Yeah, you need a sat nav to get from one end to the other. Anyway, guys and girls, it's been lovely talking to you. I'm sorry a lot of it was kind of sad around Merlin, but can't be helped. I'd like to wish you a lovely good night and a wonderful couple of weeks till we see you again. And Jeff?
Bye, everybody. I'll see everybody on the pop-up show we're going to do.
Yes, we'll see you then. But for now, bye-bye.
Bye.